Morning, you're on the Brekky Show with Scotty, 20 minutes away from 9 o'clock on this Tuesday morning. Hope you're having a great Tuesday and enjoying the music. Always good to play some Fitzroy Express in good old days. And joining me in the studio, it's a very, very good morning to the CEO of Advocare, empowering people. A very good morning to Diedre Timms. Good morning, Diedre. How are you?
Good morning, Scotty. I'm very well, thank you, and very excited to be in Kununurra.
Yeah, you been here before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, big welcome to the East Kimberley, especially Kununurra. Nice and warm. Where are you from?
Oh, from Fremantle, so it's a little bit chilly down there. The weather is perfect up here, of course.
Yeah.
And what a fascinating place. The landscape is just extraordinary.
Yeah, well, the Kimberley, it's a very, very special place, and fantastic that you're here. Are you spending a bit of time getting around any of the East Kimberley?
Yes, we started in Broome, and now we're going out to some of the communities, but we'll be based here for the rest of the week.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then we're going out to some of the other communities to talk about getting older, really, and how you can stay safe.
Good. Well, we're all doing it, aren't we?
Well,
some of us faster than others.
Yes, and it's a joy. It's a joy to be getting older. It's a real privilege.
I did ask you, and I'll ask you right now, what is the best thing about getting old?
I think it's the wisdom.
The wisdom. I thought that was a brilliant answer.
You don't make those silly mistakes again.
But we all have to make those, don't we?
We have to make them to forget that wisdom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, Diedre, tell us a little bit about, now you're the CEO, but tell us a little bit about Advocare, empowering people.
Yes, Advocare is an organisation. We've been around for over 20 years. We're a not-for-profit, independent, community-based organisation providing services to older people across Western Australia. And our responsibility is around protecting the rights of older people, particularly when they're accessing aged care services. That could be in the community or in a facility. And we also provide information to people who might think they might need aged care at some time. Most of us seem to think we're never going to need it, but if I could give any pearls of wisdom, it would be think about aged care before you need it.
Right.
So you can find out what's available, how it might impact you, and what kind of choices you'd like to make before you're forced into a position to make them.
I'd imagine some of those decisions can be drawn out, but sometimes those decisions can be instantaneous, can't they?
Yes, sometimes people can have a serious health incident and they're no longer able to manage at home on their own, but there are a lot of services that people can have at home to keep them independent at home that support, just those what we call activities of daily living, the sorts of things you do when you get up in the morning. So you can have services to help with showering, personal care, those sorts of things, food preparation, meals, house cleaning, gardening, all sorts of services. And they're fantastic because most people want to stay at home.
And how long has Advocare been operating?
Oh, just over 20 years, actually.
Yeah,
and we've picked up new programs as we've gone along, many of them government-funded programs. And we've picked up a new program which really brings us to Kununurra, which is called the Aged Care Navigation Trial. And that's about assisting people to access aged care services who don't know anything about it or find the whole system very complex and difficult. And believe me, we've created such a complex system. I don't quite know how we've got there, but it is very complex.
And what do you mean by that? As in the government-wide?
Yes, because you have to have assessments to go through various stages to get low-level support at home. You have one sort of assessment, and then to get a higher level support, you get another sort of assessment. And then for people who go into residential care, that's another sort of assessment. And sometimes people give up because it's too hard to get in. And we have people that in this navigator role, and it's their job to really sit down with someone and talk to them about what services they would like, what they think would make it different for them to be at home and to stay at home, and then to actually help them through the system. So if people are unable to go online, our navigators will do that for them. They'll make the phone calls, they'll fill out the forms, all sorts of things like that to assist people who are otherwise not accessing any support, and it's available. Yeah.
Lots of things available?
Oh, yes. Particularly low-level care, when you just need a few things to help you. And for some people, that's enough for years. You know, it can make the difference between staying at home and having to go and live with family or friends or even residential care. So if you can stay in your own home, most people are so much happier with that. It's what we would all want, really, when you think about it yourself. Yeah. When I think about it, I think, I want to stay home for as long as I can, and that's what these services are for. And incidentally, it costs the government less if they keep people at home as well.
Yeah, right. I imagine that. Advocare, a Western Australian base or Australia-wide?
We're a WA organisation, but we have an affiliation with a national network called the Older Persons Advocacy Network. So I frequently work with my interstate colleagues, and which is a great thing because we can make sure we've got best practice really for everything. Each state operates a little bit differently. Each organisation's a bit different. The other thing that we provide is the WA Elder Abuse Helpline. So that's about support for older people who may be experiencing abuse or may feel that they're vulnerable to abuse, and they want to have a conversation with us about how to stay safe. And all our services are free, and they're all confidential.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Now, I'd imagine that it's a growing, wrong word, but industry, but it's a growing concern, isn't it? The population is getting older, and I imagine the same with the Kimberley as well. It's a growing area too. More people staying in the Kimberley and growing older.
Yes.
You're up in the Kimberley for the next week, visiting areas all around the place. Hopefully you can let us know about some of those. But there's something happening today.
Yes, at 10 o'clock today, we're having what I call a conversation about ageing. So this is open to anyone in the community to come along. You might be an older person yourself, or you might think you're getting a bit older, or you might want to come along and ask questions for family members so you'll know how to support them should the time come. So we're having an open conversation about the sorts of services we provide and how we can help people access the services. We don't provide the services themselves, but we assist to access them.
And it's on today. What are you calling it again?
A conversation about ageing.
A conversation about ageing. I like this. Connect, seek, yarn, keep safe in the community as you age. Now, you are invited to yarn about ageing in your community. Come and find out what services are available. Take home free resources, enjoy a free morning tea, and support the older people in your community. Now, Diedre, it's happening this morning, 10 o'clock, this Tuesday, the 21st of July, and it's happening at the Merrimadawang Wolof Language and Cultural Centre, Button Drive. Now, that's straight across the road from us here at Warrangarri Radio. A lot of people would know exactly where that is, off Speargrass Road in Kununurra. We would love you to get along. It's happening at 10 o'clock this morning, a little over an hour away, and you can meet Diedre and have a chat about ageing. And I like the idea of come along and ask questions about family members that are maybe ageing as well.
So, and we'll have some of our staff are here as well. So we've got 2 navigators who can actually assist people to access that first assessment, or even talk to people about how they go about that and what that means.
Do you have anybody based in Kununurra at the moment?
No, we're all...
In the Kimberley?
No, we're all based in Perth, but we do a trip to the regions once a month and usually spend a week and the navigators set up all their appointments before they come up, and they make all the contacts, but then they'll take referrals and over the phone during those times when they're back in Perth, and then get themselves ready for another trip. I mean, I'd love to have people based in the regions, but it's not viable for us at the moment to work that way. But we've made some really good connections, and we also know that people who live in the community know their community best. So we're not coming in as experts about your community. We're coming in to listen to you about your community and to hear what concerns you have and what things we can do to assist. And maybe there are programs out there that people don't know about that we can help people with.
Well, that's the great thing about communication and yarning, isn't it? To discuss together about ageing. It's a great thing, as we just mentioned, we are getting older, the population's getting older, and organisations like Advocare empowering people are very, very important for the future.
Yes, we're funded by government to support people who have difficulties with services. Once they've got the services, they're not happy with them, or they're not providing the sorts of services they wanted. So we'll actually work with people to find out what it is, what the issue is, and sometimes it's not understanding the complexity of the system, but our job is to always be on the side of the older person. Yeah. So we're never on the side of the service provider. Yeah. Sometimes doesn't make us popular, but our job is to support the older person and what they want. So it's their choice. It's not the family's choice or the neighbour's choice or somebody who thinks they know the older person better. It's the older person's choice.
Diedre, are there areas that are universally a problem?
Yes. When we have calls to our elder abuse helpline, a lot of people experience financial and psychological abuse. So, look, that could be something as simple as taking mum shopping and keeping the change. If mum says it's okay, that's okay. But if she hasn't, that's actually not okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Right up to, stealing entire property of people, and older people are homeless because it's usually their children, their adult children, who have thought that inheritance would be theirs before they actually got to that point. So we try and put in strategies for people, but the important thing is, because we know how important these family relationships are, we don't actually act until the older person wants us to. Right. So people can have many conversations with us before they decide what they'd like to do about a situation that they're in they're not comfortable with.
Diedre, it sounds like you and your navigators are going to be pretty important people in the future, already important people. And of course, as I mentioned, you can meet Diedre and a team. You've got a bit of a team up here.
Yes, we have.
You can meet Diedre Timms today, 10 o'clock. This Tuesday, the 21st of July, get along to the Mirror Darwin Wollongong Language and Cultural Centre. Now, that's across the road, as I mentioned, from Warrangarri Radio. So around the Speargrass Road and down Button Drive. And it's on at 10 o'clock. Advocare, empowering people, and it's connect, seek, yarn, keeping safe in the community as you age. And, well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Diedre. Yeah, please give some phone numbers. Yeah, please.
For our country callers, we've got an 1800 number, so that's 1800 655 566. And if you'd like to talk to someone on the Elder Abuse Helpline, that's 1300 724 679. And those calls will be answered by an experienced advocate.
Fantastic. And also notice the email there, rights at advocare.org.au. What about a website? Have you got...
yes, there's a website, just
advocare.org.au. Yeah, brilliant. So so many people love to jump online nowadays. Check it out, the website, www.advocare. Now, I'll spell that for you, ADVO, Advocare, CARE. It's all one word, all lowercase, www.advocare.org.au. Jump online and have a bit of a look. It's a great organisation, and it has been a pleasure to talk to Diedre. Hopefully a few years before I get in contact with you personally. Hopefully many years, but it's great to know that there are people out there advocating for older people, which is just fantastic.
Yes.
And I hope you get a great crowd along to answer all the questions that they've got. And it's happening this morning. Third time to remind you, 10 a.m. this morning at the Mirrama Dawang Wirralam Language and Culture Centre, right across the road from us here at Warrangurri Radio. That's Speedgrass Road and Button Drive. And Diedre and their team would love to see you there. Diedre, we played in with the good old days, and we're going to play out with something that keeps ticking along, a bit of Coldplay and Clocks. Diedre Timms, thanks very much for coming in and talking to us at Warrangurri Radio. Enjoy the East Kimberley and have a great catch-up with lots and lots of older people today.
Thank you, Scotty, and thanks for the opportunity.
Pleasure.
Now number one for breakfast in the East Kimberley, Scotty and 6WR Warrangurri Radio.